power, greed, and secrets that stretch across the globe. In the world of immense wealth, not everything that glitters is gold. Behind the towering skyscrapers, the gleaming luxury yachts, and the sleek private jets lurk scandals that have shaken the very foundations of global finance. These aren't just simple stories of money gone missing. These are epic tales where fortunes were built on deception, where trust was shattered into a million pieces, and where the entire world watched in disbelief as empires, once thought invincible, crumbled into dust. Long before the age of digital banking and stock markets that never sleep, the very first banks emerged. They were beacons of trust, power, and ambition. These institutions promised stability, a safe place to keep your wealth, and a way to make it grow. But history has a funny way of showing us that the same tools designed to protect our money can also become the instruments of its destruction. Let's go back to the 17th century, to the rise of one of the earliest banking empires. The Bank of Amsterdam, founded in 1609, wasn't just a bank, it was a revolution in finance. Merchants from all over Europe brought their coins, trusting the bank to keep them safe. In return, they received bank money, a new form of currency that promised to be reliable and accepted everywhere. But even in this pioneering age, human ambition began to creep into the shadows. Whispers of embezzlement, secret accounts, and hidden profits started to circulate. It was an early sign that even the most advanced institutions were unimmune to the corrupting influence of money. Now, let's fast forward to the 20th century, a time when wealth reached a scale never seen before. Corporations became multinational giants, markets spanned oceans, and the stakes were higher than ever. It was in this era that the world watched in shock as one name became synonymous with corporate deceit: Enron. Founded in 1985, Enron wasn't just another company. It was a symbol of American ingenuity, praised for transforming energy markets and generating massive profits. But behind the polished presentations, the glossy annual reports, and the glowing media coverage, the company was caught in a sophisticated web of accounting fraud. Executors were hiding billions in debt in offshore accounts, artificially inflating their profits, and straight up lying to investors. They created a fantasy world where appearances were all that mattered, where financial statements were nothing more than illusions. When the truth finally came crashing down in 2001, Enron collapsed almost overnight. Thousands of people lost their jobs, their life savings and pensions vanished into thin air, and the financial world was left reeling, asking one simple question: how could such a massive empire be built on a foundation of lies? The scandal sent shockwaves through Wall Street and led to sweeping new laws designed to prevent it from ever happening again. But Enron wasn't an isolated case. Around the same time, another giant, the telecommunications company WorldCom, fell victim to the same human failings. They inflated their revenues, manipulated their balance sheets, and deliberately misrepresented their financial health. This led to a staggering $3.8 billion accounting scandal, the largest in U.S. history at that time. Here too, it came down to human psychology, a desperate desire for power, status, and unimaginable wealth that blinded leaders to ethics, truth, and accountability. And investors, hungry for higher returns, failed to ask the tough questions, creating a perfect storm of deception and greed. But financial scandals aren't just confined to corporate boardrooms. They can infect politics, entire nations, and even the global financial system. The 2008 financial crisis is a perfect example. It revealed just how fragile our global economy really is, triggered by risky subprime mortgages and the reckless practices of major banks. Complex financial products with fancy names like mortgage-backed securities and credit default swaps promised extraordinary profits. But beneath all that complexity lay immense risk, negligence, and systemic corruption. Banks were lending irresponsibly to people who couldn't afford it. The rating agencies, who were supposed to be the watchdogs, turned a blind eye, and regulators were too hesitant to confront the powerful institutions that were driving the market off a cliff. The result, a catastrophic collapse that erased trillions of dollars in wealth, toppled banks once considered invincible, and left millions of people struggling to survive. The crisis was a brutal reminder that financial systems, no matter how sophisticated they seem, are always vulnerable to human error, ambition, and sometimes pure malice. And these scandals know no borders. Take the Panama Papers, for instance. In 2016, a massive leak of documents exposed the secret offshore holdings of politicians, celebrities, and billionaires from all around the world. Hidden accounts, secret shell companies, and covert transfers of wealth revealed a shadow economy operating completely in parallel to the one we see every day. These revelations showed the incredible lengths the wealthy will go to protect their assets, avoid taxes, and exploit legal loopholes. It was a stark reminder that the pursuit of wealth can sometimes completely overshadow morality. So, why are we so fascinated by these stories? It's not just about the mind-boggling numbers, the billions lost or stolen, or the legal drama that follows. It's the human element that truly captivates the psychology of greed. The thrill of taking huge risks, the moral compromises people make, and the choices that ultimately lead to their downfall. It's a narrative as old as civilization itself, the tangled web of power, ambition, and wealth, and the inevitable fall that comes after hubris. Today, as new technologies like cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence transform trading, the same old patterns keep repeating. Innovation creates incredible opportunities, but it also creates new risks. History serves as a mirror, reminding us that behind every financial miracle, there might be hidden dangers. And behind every great fortune, there are human choices with consequences that ripple through our economies and societies. The dark side of wealth isn't just a story about numbers. It's a deeply human story. It's about the constant tension between trust and betrayal, risk and reward, morality and ambition. It's about how the powerful allure of money can blind even the smartest, most powerful, and most respected people among us. And it serves as a powerful cautionary tale, a warning that the pursuit of wealth, without ethics, transparency, and accountability, can leave a trail of devastation in its wake. As we navigate the complex world of modern finance, these stories stick with us. They urge us to be vigilant, to reflect, and above all, to recognize that wealth isn't just a measure of money. It's a measure of responsibility, integrity, and the choices we make when faced with temptation. Because in the end, history has shown us time and time again, the higher the tower of wealth, the longer the shadow of scandal it can cast. And while fortunes may rise and fall, their true legacy depends not just on the profits they generate, but on the truths they uphold. Thanks for watching. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. See you next time.